ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 52. कर्तृत्वादीन् बुद्धिधर्मान् स्फूर्त्याख्यां चात्मरूपतां ददद्विभाति पुरतः आभासोतो भ्रमो भवेत्. So we have completed a Mahavakya Vichara, and we have seen that how this Samanadikaranyam, two types of Samanadikaranyam, there are several types of Samanadikaranyam, but generally these two Samanadikaranyams are very popular. Bada Samanadikaranyam, Aikya Samanadikaranyam. And this has, the Samanadikaranyam has been brought because in Mahavakya there is a Samanadikaranyam. Two things are there, two words are used, and each word has its own meaning also. If two words are synonymous, then there cannot be equation. So 5 is equal to 5, etc. So Jiva and Brahman or Ishvara, either. Jiva has one meaning, Ishvara has another meaning. Word Jiva has one meaning, Ishvara has another meaning. Word Ishvara has another meaning. Yet both indicate one thing. And that has been put, the identity between them is put by the equation. That's how Mahavakya is equation. So when two words which have their own meaning indicate only one adhikaranam, one vastu, then it is Samanadhikaranam. So Samana Vibhaktikanam Bhinna Pravritti Nimittanam Samana Vibhaktikanam Padanam Ekasmin Adhikarane Tatparyam iti Samanadhikaranyam. So this is how it is. Bhinna Pravritti. They have Pravritti. Words have a Pravritti to reveal the object. Meaning. Well, so Mahavakya, if you want to analyze Mahavakya to gain an identity between this, to understand an identity between these two, Jiva and Brahman, or me and the Brahman, Ishvara. So, we have to understand Samanadhikaranyam. And then we have to understand Samanadhikaranyam. Well, there which type of Samanadhikaranyam? Aikyam and Bada Samanadhikaranyam. These two should be understood. And we have done both. We have discussed both the types of Samanadhikaranyam, and we have taken several Mahavakyas, right? Sarvam khalu idam brahma, aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, etc. And we said also that you can use either of the Samanadhikaranyam, Bada or Aikya, depending upon what is the meaning of the word Jiva, the individual is taken. That's it. If you take the word Jiva as a mixture of both, that is Mithya plus Satyam naturally, and that is Chidabhasa plus Chit, or Chidabhasa plus Sakshi, or Kutastha. Well, then Chidabhasa is Mithya, Chit or Sakshi is Satyam. In that case, before you equate with the Brahman, that is consciousness, definitely you have to negate that negative, you have to negate the Mithya part, because Brahman is Satyam. So here in the word Jiva, if it is a mixture of Satyam and Mithya, you have to negate what is Mithya. And so you have to remove that part. And definitely then, if you remove that from meaning of the word Jiva, that is Chidabhasa plus Chit, you remove the Chidabhasa, which is of course Mithya. And then only Chit will remain. And that Chit, the Sakshi is Brahman. That's the equation. That's called Aikya Samanadikaranam. Why Aikya? Because there is an identity between Jiva and Brahman after negating that, after removing the Mithya part. So Sakshi is Brahman. That's an identity between these two. So Aikya Samanadikaranam. Aikya means identity. Then it's amazing thing. Till this point there was nothing. When I start, then this also starts, shows its presence. Anyway, then second thing is Bada Samanadikaranam. Then what here? What is the meaning of what Jiva? Jiva is Chidabhasa, just individual. Well, then that is equal to Brahman. Cannot be said. Individual is the limited entity, limited sentient being is equal to limitless consciousness. No. So then you have to negate that. So negate means what? It is a mithya, and therefore, well, you should understand the satyam which is right there. So what you take as an individual conscious being, Jiva, is Brahman, equation. And so you have negated what? The meaning of word Jiva as a limited being. That's called Bada, negated. And so what you take it as a human being is really a stump or post, or a stump of a tree, let us say. That's better. So this is how it is done. So this we have completed. Now the thing is, you said from the meaning of word Jiva, that Chidabhasa. Either meaning you take of a Jiva, Chidabhasa plus Chit, mixture, or just Chidabhasa. What you have done, that regarding that we have question. What we have done to make the identity? Chidabhasa you have said, Chidabhasa you have removed, or Chidabhasa you have negated. Why? You have given one argument, that Chidabhasa is Mithya. What is Mithya cannot be counted. And therefore you have negated. But we would like to understand why Chidabhasa is Mithya. That's wonderful. This verse, better understand. This verse 52 is the most important verse for me. And I hope it is most important for you. Analysis of Chidabhasa will really prove the Mithyatvam of Chidabhasa. And really prove the Mithyatvam of everything. Just hollowness. Mere hollowness. The Jiva, the world, everything is hollow. Totally hollow. So that's how it is very important. Mithya because it is anirvachaniyam. Anirvachaniyam is what? Sadasat vilakshanam. Therefore, Chidabhasa is sadasat vilakshanam. Sat, existent. Asat, non-existent. Asat means here non-existent. No? Total. Please, asat does not take it, you don't take it as a mithya. Sad asat vilakshanam. Chidabhasa is something which is not an existent entity, real entity, or Chidabhasa is something which is not a non-existent, zero entity. No. Generally, we have our psychology is a pendulum psychology. If it is this, you say no, then they go to another extreme. Then that is there. If you say that is no, well, then this is there. There is something in between. The whole creation, the Vyavara, the Jiva, the Karmas, everything is really a third thing. That's how many people have a difficulty in understanding Vedanta, honestly. Because a pendulum psychology. If you say existent, no. Well, it is non-existent. No, it is not non-existent. Then it is existent. That's how they say. Sad asad vilakshanam, which is not existent, which is not non-existent. There is third thing, which is separate from existent, non-existent. That That is, simple answer is anirvachaniyam instead of giving an answer as inexplicable and all. Because if you say inexplicable, that word needs an explanation. And therefore, I would like to avoid it. What is anirvachaniyam is apparently existent. Apparently existent. Or it has an existence only in your experience. Not more than that. That's it. Apparently existent, existence experientially. Beyond experience, even if we don't experience, well, it is there? No. If you don't experience, it is there? No. This is called anirvachaniyam. Inexplicable is this. That's how the entire magic show. You cannot say it is non-existent. Whatever has been shown in the magic show by the magician cannot be said it is existent. Cannot be said it is non-existent, because everyone is experiencing. Everyone is experiencing. Since everyone is experiencing, really he has produced something. No. If he has really not produced, means it is not there, then it is non-existent. No, because you only are saying it, this is there in his hand or whatever. So apparently existent. Anirvachaniyam. Sadasat vilakshanam. And so you can't prove its existence. You can't prove its nature also. Please understand. First I said that you cannot prove its existence. The second thing I am adding again, to enhance the meaning of word anirvachaniyam, is you can't prove its nature also. That is how it is anirvachaniyam. Not just with regards to existence, something else also. So generally, various examples have been taken. Best example is a reflection of our face in the mirror. That is what it is. Of course, and this example is not my example or anybody's example. Acharya gave this example in Upadesha Sahasri in chapter 18. Pratibimba Mukham. Pratibimba Mukham, the reflection of your face, is formed by two real entities. That is Darpanam and Bimba Mukham, original face. When these two real things are in proximity, then this third entity is formed. Both are existent things, and when they come near proximity, this third thing, Pratibimba Mukham, clearly you experience or you see. I, the person, near to the mirror, and I don't see my face. I see my reflection of my face in the mirror. Then, well, if original face, if you don't see, well, how will you prove its existence? You cannot, even without, you need not prove its existence, because its reflection has been seen in the mirror, and that you are seeing, and from there you definitely infer that there is an original face like this. Anyway, now regarding this Pratibimba Mukham, existence of the Pratibimba Mukham, is borrowed from Darpanam or from face. Well, if you remove either of that, not both, if you remove either of that means either mirror or either face, you go away, suppose, then this will not exist, the Pratibimba Mukham. And therefore, definitely, it has a borrowed existence from both. Both are existent things. This third entity called Pratibimba Mukham has borrowed existence existence from two existent things. Clearly understand this example. And therefore, since it has a borrowed existence from these two existent entities, this third entity is really not an entity. It is mithya. Borrowed existence means it definitely it has no its independent existence, and therefore it is mithya. Pratibinda mukham is mithya. So first argument is satta nasti. Why? How? The question was, original question was how Chidabhasa is mithya. For that we have taken example. Example of a pratibimba mukham. It's abhasa of the mukham. And so we are proving the mithyatvam of a pratibimba mukham. For that, the first argument is it doesn't have its own existence. It has borrowed existence from the two. So satta nasti. Pratibimba mukhasya satta nasti. Satta means existence. Nasti. Second thing, this pratibimba mukham, now we will go to the nature. By discussing its nature also we will prove pratibimba mukham is mithya. So two reasons should be given to prove mithyatvam. Ordinarily, all the acharyas talk about the mithyatvam by giving one reason, and that is existence, borrowed existence. That's it. We generally give that. But Vidyaranya adds one more to prove mithyatvam of a pratibimba mukham. To prove the mithyatvam of a chidabhasa. And that is, its nature also cannot be ascertained. The nature of it doesn't have a nature of its own. Pratibimba mukhasya nature, swarupam, also borrowed. Not just existence. Whatever is there in pratibimba mukham is all borrowed. First you narrate pratibimba mukham, these are the points. And then you have to say this from this. The second point, the second characteristic is from this. The third characteristic is from darpanam. The fourth characteristic is from the face. The fifth characteristic is from face. Sixth character is from darpanam. And you will find that not a single characteristic of the pratibimba mukham has of its own. Existence of is not of his own, the nature also of its not of his own. That way also it is anirvachaniya. Anyway, so basically it's a cooked up thing. So like in accounting there is a lot of cooking. Same way here in Vedanta, cooking of an entity or cooked up entity is this pratibimba mukham. Well, ultimately we'll go to Chidabhasa. So, because if you analyze its attributes, some are borrowed from darpanam, mirror, some are borrowed from the face. That's it. Anyway, so one acharya tells that like a salad, So salad is not really a new dish. Lot of things are combined together and you give a new name, a new entity called salad. In the salad, if you analyze, the dressing, etc. I don't know what. This is not my subject. So vegetables, of course, cut vegetables are there. So that belongs to vegetables. Whatever is there in the salad, the vegetable part belongs to vegetables, etc. And the cut these pieces, etc. And then other things you dress, and so that those things belongs to that whatever dressing, etc. So the salad has, even the attributes of the salad is not really, attributes of salad are not really of the salad own. Still we say salad is a new dish. Is amazing thing. We say salad is a new thing. We never say salad is a mixture of this. There's really the salad characteristic of salad is not of its own, and therefore then there is no really a new entity which has its own attributes. Anyway, Now pratibimba mukham. First you say the color of the eye in that reflected face belongs to what? Well, it belongs to the original face. Well, then color of the skin in the reflected face belongs to the original face. Then, the color, or else something else you can take. I mean, the color of the hair, well, color of the eyebrows, the shape of the eyebrows, etc. Whatever you can add thousands of things. All these things, basically belong to the original face. So, some attributes are borrowed from original face by the reflected face. Now, some attributes are borrowed from mirror also. Some of the attributes of the reflected face are borrowed from the mirror. Suppose a mirror is dull. Well, the reflected face is dull. So, the dullness of the reflected face, that attribute, well, belongs to the original, belongs to the mirror. Even though it may be possible that you might have gone somewhere for a makeup and your face is shining like anything. But when you go to, unfortunately, if you go to such a mirror which is dull, then your face, the bright face, original bright face, appears dull, contributed to mirror. Okay. So then, suppose if a mirror is located 2 feet away from your original face, so the location, let's say, just location of the reflected face is borrowed from mirror. Then, suppose there is a movement in the mirror, then there is a motion in the reflected face also. The motion characteristic of the reflected face is borrowed from the mirror. Suppose that the mirror is small, in a particular, in India, in a Kutch and in a Rajasthan, they do a embroidery work, and in that they put a small mirrors, and that lady wearing that sari or that particular dress with those mirrors, she's moving here and there, and you will see your face. Mirrors are many, then your multiplicity of the reflected face is borrowed from mirror, because there are many mirrors. The size of the reflected face, again characteristic, the size of the reflected face is also borrowed from the mirror. Mirror is small, then face is also small. So ultimately, other than the attributes of mirror and original face, bimba mukham, the reflected face does not have any attribute of its own, and therefore this reflected face is a cooked up entity, enjoying borrowed existence, enjoying borrowed characteristics, borrowed nature. Understand this very important: nature, borrowed nature, borrowed existence. If you remove these two, where is reflected face? Where is reflected face? Anyway, similarly, Chidabhasa also, now forget about now pratibimba mukham. Chidabhasa, same here, reflection of consciousness, reflected consciousness. The reflection of the consciousness, Chidabhasa, which we have to prove mithya, well, is that reflection is formed by two entities. Two right now, Right now. I am going to negate one later. Right now two, because there in example there were two. So here also you want two. Okay. So in order to avoid confusion, I will say two. There original face, mirror. Here original consciousness, that is Original consciousness. Okay, consciousness, and like mirror, here we have a buddhi, two entities. And when these two entities are near, when two entities are near, that is wrong. That cannot be said at any time. When these two are near, you should never say that. Here, when never comes. No. When then never comes here. No. But let us say that for a time being, everything. All wrong things we will say time being. So, when they are near, buddhi and consciousness, a mysterious third entity called Chidabhasa is formed, which has a borrowed existence and borrowed characteristics, borrowed nature also. And in Sushupti, when the mind, the mirror, the buddhi resolves, then definitely the Chidabhasa also resolves. And attributes of the Chidabhasa are attributes of mind and attributes of consciousness. So Chidabhasa is self-effulgent. That effulgence is borrowed from consciousness. Could you follow? Chidabhasa is conscious, right? So it's self-effulgent. But self-effulgent Chidabhasa, definitely its effulgence is borrowed from the consciousness. Like Pratibimba Surya, the reflected sun is self-shining, right? Reflected sun in the water is not shining because of your tube light. It's not because of your fire nearby which you have put. Please understand this. Somebody objected when I said self-shining. Well, then Swamiji, how can you say self-shining? Well, Pratibimba Surya, how can you say self-shining? Sun is self-shining. But that is, Pratibimba Surya also is self-shining, but the shining is borrowed from the, basically, original sun, the sun. Anyway. So this Pratibimba Surya shines because of Pratibimba Surya. Same way here, the Chidabhasa is self-shining, but actually the shining, that self-shiningness, that characteristic is borrowed from the consciousness which is really self-shining. Anyway, so these are the, and some of the characteristics are of the buddhi also we will be discussing. So this is a third entity. And one Acharya gives an example that there is a reception of some marriage. After marriage there is a reception, and one person has attended that reception, which he is a third. He is not from the groom side, or he is not from the bride side. He has attended in order to just eat the food and enjoy the life. So he has just gone in. And when from the groom side anybody asks, then he says, I am from the bride side. And then anybody from the bride side, he asked to him that, who are you? Then he said, I am from the groom side. So that is how, basically, this is a third entity, very mysterious entity. And as such also nobody asks. This is in India, this is a Shirasta. Nobody asks. Because suppose from the bride side, if they ask that who are you, etc., and suppose it is from the it is from the bridegroom side, well, they will feel bad. So nobody asks, either from the bride side or either from the groom side. And thus this fellow is really having a nice dinner and beautiful and everything. And then he was sitting in one chair, with a big table was there in front of him. And then, somebody noticed that this person, his movement is very mischievous. So anyway, one from the two friends were there. One has come from the bride side, other has come from the groom side. So they decided to inquire about this fellow. And they both came and started talking to him. They also sat in front of that table. So he sat there where he sat. These two also, and started talking. And this third entity came to know that they are really inquiring, who am I? And therefore, then definitely he just got up. He said, my throat is because I have taken ice cream, and therefore it's little burning. Is there any hot water here? So I would like to take it. Like that, he gets up and goes and never returns. So this is how it is. So yayam bhranti niralamba sahatena vicharam ya tamo yadvad divakaraha. So basically, in Saddarshanam also there are several verses like that. Anyway, so when you start inquiring this third entity, then you find that it really doesn't have anything of its own. Zero. Zero. Chidabhasa, if you inquire, who are you? Then you find that it doesn't have anything of its own. All borrowed. Either from this or from this. And ultimately, well, its existence itself is borrowed from both. So this is how it is. So this Chidabhasa is really a hollow thing. You experience and you will continue to experience because it is part of the hollow structure. It's part of the hollow structure, karma structure. So karma, karma phala, jiva, Chidabhasa, all hollow structure. Within hollow structure, it keeps moving. It keeps moving. When you inquire into that, you find the whole structure goes away. Whole structure. That is how some people listens to Mandukya and they just get up. Whole structure, I am telling you. I am going to prove it. Whole structure. Entire world. The jiva, the subject, and the object. Both are merely experiential. Nothing more than that. And since you are experiencing means it is existent. It is existent. That existence is borrowed by the underlying adhisthana, Sat Brahma. And it has it, whatever the characteristic it has, is either from the Maya or either from the Brahman. Everything. Nothing of its own. But hollow appears very concrete due to Avarana Shakti of Maya. When you are under the spell of the magician, well, definitely, even though what he shows is hollow, but for you, it is a very concrete thing. You feel it is really he has produced something. That's how it is. So this is Ishvara's magical power. Has created this Chidabhasa, the Jiva, the Karma, Karma Phala, and to experience Karma Phala, the whole structure. All this, all the three gunas and whatever has been formed, the five elements, and an entire elemental world. Everything will vanish. Not from your experience, please understand. Will vanish from your will vanish from its reality. That's it. It is not real. Anyway, that's we are going to see. So this revealing this mysterious entity is this Chidabhasa, imposter kind of a thing. Anyway, Abhasaha Dadat. So Dadat means Dadat Shabda Dha Dhatu, and this is a present participle, which is Dadat. Dha means to hold. So Dadat, present participle, so holding, and that becomes an adjective to the Abhasa. So the Chidabhasa holds, carries, or carrying Chidabhasa, the holding Chidabhasa. What it carries? Well, from two groups. Characteristics, carrying Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa which is carrying, which carries. What it carries? The characteristics which it carries from two groups. From Atma and from Buddhi. Anatma. Kartrutvadi Buddhi Dharman. Kartrutvadi Buddhi Dharman. So all the attributes like Kartrutvadi here, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Parmatrutva, etc. They are Buddhi Dharman. They are the attributes of the darpanam. They are the attributes of the reflecting medium called buddhi. Why? Why? Why you say they belong to buddhi suddenly? Because they are undergoing change. Definitely, it's a vritti vikara. Kartrutvam is a vritti vikara, modification of the mind. Bhoktrutvam is a modification of the mind. Pramatrutvam is a modification of the mind. It was not there and now it is there. That's how your sankalpa itself, in a puja itself, you do a sankalpa. So, mamopatta samasta durita kshay dwara Shri Parameshwara prityartham, antakarana shuddhi dwara, etc., etc. And then you say, aham pujam karishye. I will do this puja. So, it's a vritti vikara. It's a modification of the mind. Just before you sat in the puja, before you did a sankalpa, this was not there. Now it is there. So, vritti vikara. Same way pramatrutvam. Right now you are seer. You are not seer before. Now you are seer. Now you become a taster of something. So this is how all this kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and naturally bhoktrutva also was not there. When he starts puja, there is no bhoktrutva. At the end of the puja, the kartrutva is not there. Whatever he has put in front of Bhagavan, that Naivedya, which has become prasada, he eats up everything. So definitely, earlier he was not a bhokta, now he has become bhokta. Again he gets up, well, he tries to see the messages in the mobile. Now he is a pramata. So this is how constantly kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and Swamiji, how do you say they are just modification of the mind? Because if mind is not there, either of the three are not there. Not there. When the mind is awake, all the three are there. When mind goes to sleep, neither of the three is there. Therefore, definitely they are dharmas of antakaranam. Anyway, so here kartrutvadi, adi padat, you can take any other thing, as I said you. Anyway, but Swamiji, this is kartrutvam, etc., bhoktrutvam, etc. But when you say I am karta, I am bhokta, I am pramata, well, there is a conscious, definitely they are all conscious being. So, and if you say they are the dharma, kartrutva, etc., dharma of the buddhi, then that buddhi is jadam. So therefore the kartrutva, etc. should be jadam. But then when you say I am karta, bhokta, pramata, there is a conscious being. Well, definitely that consciousness comes from what? The consciousness. So basically the sentiency come from the consciousness. And these modifications, etc., kartrutva, the modifications comes from the effulgence comes from the Chaitanyam consciousness, and these modifications come from the buddhi. So that is how the Chidabhasa who says, well, that I am karta, etc., bhokta, etc., well, in that both the things are there. So spurti akhyam atma rupatam kartrutvadi buddhi dharman, okay? Then spurti akhyam atma rupatam, well, atma rupatam, atma swarupatam. So basically, Chidabhasa holds nature of atma, which is what? Spurtihi. Spurti means sentiency, right? So I am karta means a sentient being, I am bhokta, a sentient being, I am pramata, sentient being. That sentiency actually, in the karta, bhokta, pramata, that Chidabhasa, the sentiency belongs to consciousness. And these modifications, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, pramatrutva, doership, etc., that modification belongs to buddhi. So two sets of borrowing. It's a cooked up entity. So I have a pen, I have a notebook, and I am writing notes. But pen is borrowed from someone, papers are borrowed from someone. So then I am enjoying. So this is how it is. It's a very mysterious entity. Ahankara is mysteriously appearing as this jiva, the sentient being. It's purely mind. Ahankara means this aham vritti, just mind. But that aham vritti becomes ahankara, the sentient being, the individual, is because spurtihi eva akhyam, the sentience is borrowed from the consciousness. So it is anirvachaniyam. It's anirvachaniyam because it doesn't have anything of its own. Appears that it has everything of its own, a real entity, nothing belongs to it. But how do you say, Swamiji, that it appears as a real entity? Everyone says. I am not saying. When I ask you who are you, then you say I am so and so, and then you say I am a doer of so and so, I am a knower of so and so, I am a experiencer of so and so. You only say. And further, if I say, you inquire and tell me, you said this is what I am. So basically, it is Anivachaniyam that it is really speaking nothing of its own, but appears as though it's a real entity with all its own characteristics. No. Atahe Brahma Bhavet. Therefore, this is called Brahmaha Adhyasaha, which is Brahma or Adhyasa is Anirvachaniyam, which appears as a real entity but which is not. When you analyze, you find nothing belongs to its own. And this is what we have learned. You must have learned, and well, definitely that is in Adhyasa Bhashyam of the Bhashyakara in the Brahma Sutra. Introduction. Verse 53. Ka buddhihi koyam abhasah ko va matra jagat katham ityanirnayato mohaha soyam samsara ishyate. Definition of samsara now. So Vidyaranya says, this is another good verse, because we talk about all the time samsara nivrutti and this and that. What is samsara that is being told here? So Vidyaranya says basically samsara is a non-understanding. Because of non-understanding, samsara is because of the non-understanding of four factors. Four factors that is mentioning. All the four are mentioned in the first line. So, well, if you understand this, if you don't understand these four factors clearly, there is a samsara in your life. And if you understand these four factors clearly, there is a cessation of a samsara in your life. That's how it is. And then, if you understand them clearly, still so-called samsara will remain, so-called. And that so-called samsara is renamed as entertainment. Entertainment. That's how Jnani's life is entertainment. Jnani's life is entertainment for him and for others also. Yeah. That's how people enjoy Jnani. Like, these children, they play with the dolls and how they enjoy. This all world, they really play with this Jnani. And they play like he play as a doll with him, and then they enjoy. All people who come in proximity or come in contact with these wise people, they all enjoy. And Jnani himself enjoys. And therefore, because these four factors have been understood by him very clearly. These four factors are not understood by the person who is connected to Jnani. He has not understood. So he has all samsaras. Samsara means all unnecessary things. All the things which you don't want in your life is called samsara. All. Really, we are going to see there are no emotional problems at all. There are no emotional problems. We say emotional problems, then cognitive, and it is merely to know clearly means it is, if you don't understand clearly means it is a cognitive problem. If your intellect has a clarity of these four factors, you don't have a samsara, means you don't have emotional issues. And therefore in human life there is no emotional issue at all. Vedanta looks upon the samsara, the so-called emotional issues, as a cognitive problem. Only cognitive problem. Because understanding is involved. When understanding is involved, it's not handling the emotion. Understanding 3-4 things will resolve your emotional issues. You need not handle them separately, emotions. So this thing which Vedantins are very fond of talking. The people who have not got any insight into the teaching, they are fond of talking this. What? Swamiji, this studying and attending classes is an intellectual exercise. And really speaking, to gain the benefit of this teaching or knowledge, you should practice something. It's an intellectual exercise. It is not intellectual exercise. You have not understood that it is an intellectual problem only. If you understand that resolving all issues are in my minds of emotional issues, samsara, is actually resolving it through intellect only, cognitively. So it's not intellectual exercise. The problem is intellectual only, and it has to be resolved at that level only. Vedanta never addresses emotional issues. Please understand this. That's how sometimes we feel what to answer. I have a depression, Swamiji. These are the questions generally. I have a depression. I have a sense of loneliness. What should I do? I have, Swamiji, a issue of an anger. What should I do? I have, Swamiji, I will talk to you personally. I want to talk to you personally. I don't want to ask in the class, in the public. Then he meets. He said, Swamiji, even though I have crossed 60, this, that, but I have still some issues of the lust and these and that. Swamiji, how to overcome greed? One answer. Only one answer given by most of the acharyas. We give here and there one answer. Attend the class. And you feel these fellows, they do not have anybody, hardly they get any students, and therefore whoever comes, well, to catch hold of him, they say attend the class. It is like this. When one person, I think, one person was told, well, that if I cut your ears, what would happen? He says, I can't see later on. You feel, what is this? If you cut the ears, there will be blood, etc. Here there will be infection, or there may be infecting in the hearing, etc. But this fellow says, no, I can't see. He found that I should not have asked this question to this person. I think it looks like he's a mad guy. He is not a mad guy. He was extra intelligent. The gap between that question and answer, that that person was not able to fill up. But this person knows. That's how he answered like that. If you cut the ears, you say, I can't listen, I can't see, you say. You should say, I can't listen, or something like that. Why do you say I can't see? He said, if you cut these ears, where will I put my specs? So there. This is how the story of the teachers are. Teachers, you say, I have such sense of loneliness, Swamiji. Attend the class. You say, what is this? What is this? What is there in the book to remove this issue? Sense of loneliness, sense of companionship, asking for a companionship. How will it go away from this? How this knowledge helps that emotional issue? Only that will. Because in a Vedantin's eye, in a Vedantic teacher's eye, the issue is not any emotional issue. It's only a lack of understanding, clear understanding of four things. I'm going to stop here. Okay? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.